Okay, so let's unpack this. When we talk about Halloween, we usually think about trick-or-treating, horror movies, maybe the huge industry for adult costumes.
Right.
But the biggest, fastest growing area might just be the one wearing a little taco or pumpkin outfit.
Oh,
We are diving deep into the, well, surprisingly massive world of pet Halloween.
it's really not just a cute niche anymore. It's become a serious consumer phenomenon, and the numbers absolutely back that up.
How big are we talking?
We're looking at U.S. consumers projected to spend $860 million on pet costumes in 2025 alone.
Wow,
And to give you some scale, that's a huge jump from $700 million just the year before.
that's nearly $1 billion for temporary dog and cat outfits. I mean, what on earth is driving that kind of spending?
And that's our mission for today. We want to figure out the why behind all of it. We've pulled together data on spending habits, safety standards, which are, often overlooked, and the top costume trends for 2025.
And we're also digging into the e-commerce side of things, right? Specifically how this all works on a platform like Etsy.
Exactly. We want to get to the why behind the dollars and the design.
All right, let's jump right into the pet costume economy then, because some of these spending habits are just, there's something else. The average pet owner spends about $30. That sounds reasonable.
It does. But here's the kicker. 1 in 5 people we looked at in the data spend over $50 on a single costume.
And this spending it's very generationally specific, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's anchored with younger owners. Millennials are leading the charge at 57%, but Gen Z is right on their heels at 55%.
So it tells us that for younger people, the pet is really seen as a full-fledged family member or even a child proxy.
Exactly. That's what normalizes spending that much on, well, a non-essential item.
Okay, here's a statistic that, it really stopped me in my tracks. Nearly 1 in 3 pet owners, that's 32%, admit they spend more money on their pet's outfit than on their own.
That's it. That's the priority shift right there.
It's amazing.
If your dog's Ewok costume is more important than your own, you've moved past simple pet ownership. And the engine for this is, of course, social media.
Right. Here's where it gets really interesting. 27% of people said they bought a costume specifically for an Instagram post or for social media content.
And it's even higher for those younger generations, approaching 30%. It's less about the walk around the block, more about the digital photo shoot.
So the costume is basically an investment in their pet's online brand.
Precisely. But this high-stakes content creation, it has a pretty serious downside that sellers really need to pay attention to.
Wait, so if the main driver is content and people are dropping $50 or more, how sustainable is that when the pet might, absolutely hate wearing it?
That is an excellent point. It really highlights the friction here. Our sources show a bit of a dark side. 43% of owners said their pets destroyed or damaged their expensive outfits.
43%, wow.
And 22% said they just regretted buying it entirely. So sellers are constantly fighting this high rate of buyer's remorse.
So who's driving this high-end spending? Does it break down by breed at all?
It absolutely does. For dogs, Rottweiler owners spend the most, averaging around $43. Siberian Husky owners are next at $37.
Big, expressive dogs.
Exactly. They have that visual payoff.
And what about cat owners? Because getting a cat into a costume, that feels like a whole other level of commitment.
It certainly is an accomplishment in itself. On the feline side, Maine Coon owners lead the way, averaging $38 per costume.
Another large, impressive animal. Makes sense you're looking for that visual impact for the social media post.
The spending follows the potential for the visual return.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. So now we know who's spending and why. Let's pivot to what they're actually buying. Time for the 2025 Pet Costume Trend Report.
And the demand signal is just huge. Searches for a dog costume for Halloween soared 154%. For cats, it was up 64%.
So people are planning this stuff way in advance.
Very seriously.
Let's start with the king, the all-time classic. According to the NRF data, the most popular costume is, yet again, the pumpkin. It holds almost 10% of the market.
It's the ultimate safe bet. It's simple, festive, everyone gets it. After that, you have the other classics. The hot dog at 5.4%, Bumblebee at 4%, and then a tie between Ghost and Superhero.
It seems like after pumpkin, the market gets really fragmented.
It does. A lot of niche interests.
So beyond those classics, what's happening in pop culture? What are people searching for their dogs?
Media is a huge driver. The top three searched dog costumes right now are the Grinch, the Ewok, and the Ghost.
Ewok is fascinating. That's so retro, but perfect for a fluffy dog.
It is. And we're also seeing spikes for characters tied to recent movies like Crypto the Superdog or Stitch because of the buzz around the new live-action movie.
And what about food themes? Do those ever get old?
Never. Hot dogs, pizza, Starbucks cups. They're always popular because they're just inherently funny. And of course, the hot dog costume is iconic for a dachshund.
Yeah, of course. Okay, now for the cats. What are owners attempting to put on their cats this year?
Cats trend a bit more traditional, which makes sense, given their general intolerance for complex outfits.
Right.
The top searches are Pumpkin Lion, which is usually just that easy-to-use mane and Mario. Simple themes like a batwing harness or a little witch cape are also very popular.
So when we look at these trends, what's the core design philosophy? If you have this huge market that also has a high rate of regret, usability has to be key.
Absolutely. The main principle is that simpler is better. It's safer, it's more practical. A lot of the successful pop culture designs are just a simple accessory like a cape or a headband.
Maybe the bee costume.
Exactly. The bee, with its lightweight wings and antenna, is great for dogs that get anxious or hot easily. And for a dog that really just barely tolerates clothing, a DIY sheet ghost or even just a festive bandana works perfectly.
Which is a great transition. Respecting the pet's boundaries leads us right into the really critical topic of safety. If people are spending this money for a cute photo, how do we make sure the fun stops before the pet gets hurt?
It has to start with safety testing. The sources are very clear on this. Test the costume days or even weeks before Halloween.
So the pet can get used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to watch for signs of discomfort, scratching, refusing to move, things like that. And fundamentally, the costume should never restrict vision, breathing, or their ability to move around normally. That's completely non-negotiable.
Let's talk about materials. This is where some of the jargon really matters.
It does. You want safe, breathable fabrics. Think cotton, polyester blends, or fleece. Something to prevent overheating.
You mentioned certifications earlier. If I'm buying a $50 costume online, what should I actually be looking for? What do those acronyms mean?
This is the key piece of knowledge. You want to look for certifications like CPSIA or OEKO-TEX Standard 100. So CPSIA is the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act. It just means it meets certain safety standards. But OEKO-TEX is really important for pets. It's basically a guarantee the fabric has been tested and is free from a whole list of harmful chemicals.
Which is critical because pets are definitely going to chew on their outfits.
Absolutely. And beyond materials, the biggest physical risk is choking hazards. Avoid small parts like buttons or googly eyes that can be chewed off and swallowed.
And this brings up another hidden danger of the holiday itself beyond the costume: the candy.
A very acute danger. 1/4 of pet owners in the survey reported their pet accidentally ate Halloween chocolate or candy.
And the results are serious. 1 in 20 of those pets needed emergency vet care. The average bill was $150, but for almost half of them, it was over $200.
It's a very real and very measurable risk.
Is there data on which breeds are the most naughty when it comes to stealing candy?
Surprisingly specific data, yes. Labrador Retrievers are the most likely breed to sneak sweets. They're followed by German Shepherds and Bulldogs.
So if you have a Labin, you need to treat candy security like it's a biohazard.
Pretty much. And parents are getting smarter. Over half, 54%, kept their pets away from the front door during trick-or-treating, and 46% kept candy locked away.
That shows real awareness. Okay, let's switch gears to the business side. The e-commerce engine that fuels all of this. We're looking at Etsy.
And the pet niche on Etsy is just gargantuan. The keyword pet has over 2 million listings. The main split is almost perfectly even between cat and dog tags.
What's really fascinating, and it connects back to what we said about devotion, is how the search data reveals the emotional depth here, way beyond just fun costumes.
Exactly. We see a huge search volume for Earn for pets, over 3,000 searches, with more than 200,000 listings.
So sellers have to understand that they're not just selling a funny costume, they're tapping into this deep emotional bond.
It's the entire spectrum, from high-vanity Halloween fun to deep, permanent memorial items. You have to understand both extremes.
So if a new seller wanted to get into this market, what's the right pricing strategy?
Well, the range is huge, from $1.50 up to almost $500 for custom items. But the data shows the sweet spot, the average mark, is $42.35.
That's very specific.
It is. Go too low, you devalue your work. Go too high, and you lose all those impulse buyers.
Let's look at two real-world examples you pulled. A tale of two star sellers, really. The first was Doggy of the Day Shop.
Right. They sold a floor mat for around $40. They used video, they did multi-holiday targeting, and their estimated profitability was about $180,000.
Wow. Now contrast that with another seller, General Print. They sold a $54 custom painting, but their estimated profitability was only about $3,400.
And the huge difference wasn't the price, it was the presentation and the targeting. General Print only used 3 of the 10 available photo slots and used really limiting keywords like gift for boyfriend.
So if I'm a seller listening right now, what are the actionable takeaways?
Tip 1. Always specify the pet dog or cat and use the word pet in your title and tags. Tip 2. Maximize your visual real estate. Use all 10 image slots and, crucially, include a video. It dramatically increases engagement.
And you mentioned multi-holiday targeting. Why is that so powerful?
Because it overcomes that high rate of buyer's remorse we talked about. If you only target Halloween, your window is tiny. But if you target pet birthday, dog Christmas, pet photo prop, you spread that item's value across the whole year.
We even saw an example of a seller building safety right into the listing. A handmade Pennywise clown costume.
Yes, priced at about €70. Because it was an artisan item, the seller required the buyer to share the pet's breed, weight, and chest measurement to ensure a proper safe fit. It's a brilliant move.
So what does this all mean for you? We've seen the pet costumes are a massive, high-profit market, driven almost entirely by social media and this intense consumer devotion.
But to succeed, whether you're buying or selling, you have to have a deep understanding of both the SEO trends and, much more importantly, the pet's actual comfort and safety.
The data really shows this profound shift. You have the consumer vanity spending just for the Instagram post, but also this deep, profound commitment, which you see in the memorial items.
The success of this niche isn't just about cute costumes. It's about tapping into the identity of the modern pet owner.
It really makes you wonder. Considering the high spend, the emotional drivers, and the fact that a third of owners will prioritize their pet's outfit over their own, are pet costumes still just about celebrating a holiday? Or are they now a fundamental part of the pet's identity and status in the modern family? It's something for you to chew on until next time.
And here's one last logistical detail for you, tied to that exact idea. Remember, if you order some of those pet subscription boxes that also include human goodies, like wine, an adult signature is legally required for delivery. So if you ordered that box, you'll want to track that package carefully.